Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the CCL MW2 launch tournament. We are now into our final match of the day to see who's going to be able to make it to day 2. I'm, of course, Visions. Alongside me, I have Proper. We've been casting all day. We've had some great matches. Now we'll see what this last one brings for us here, Andy.
Yeah, it's been an absolute fantastic weekend. 2 weekends, actually. There was the first set of matches that were happening last weekend, and now we're concluding the entire tournament this weekend as well, as we take a look at this lower bracket where we are currently residing at. We just got done watching VCU lose out 3-1 to Full Sail. Well, they'll go on to face UTC, team that we saw earlier lose to St. Clair 1-3. But where we're currently located at, well, it's in that lower match, the 5 versus the 11. The Sun Devils going up against the Dust Devils, and Texas A&M International just getting done with their Map 5 burner versus DePaul.
Yes, I mean, overall, it looks like everyone that we have left here are certainly able to make some damage happen down into the lower bracket, but if you're able to make at least top 4 rather, then you have yourself in the money, and that's kind of what you're looking at least $500 if you can get 4th. So that's going to be one of the big factors. But also on the day, we want to give a really big shout out to the American Navy for being one of our proud sponsors throughout the CCL and making sure that we can put on this event. And if you're looking to at least join or look into the Navy allows you to earn college education at their expense, paying nearly all tuition. When enlisted, you can attend classes even while on the ship. The Navy also offers world-class training using cutting-edge equipment and technology to prepare enlisted men and women to maximize their potential. So if you're interested or just want to know a little bit more about it, make sure you guys go check out the America's Navy. Now, as we head in and kind of honing back in on this matchup here, Andy, obviously both of these two looking to get themselves a win here in the lower final. We'll see exactly how they're going to be able to square off, especially with the fact that a lot of our games have been, for the most part, pretty close on the day, and it feels like everyone has just been edging out maybe in those final hills and those final moments where the fundamentals kind of kick in a little bit.
Yeah, it always feels like that final push, that third wind, if you will, specifically for these hardpoint maps, for a lot of these teams to really come back into their own. You know, one of those teams that we might actually end up seeing find a little bit more comfort than that is actually going to be Arizona State University. Look, the Sun Devils have been playing together for a decent amount of time. I will say this much, a returning member of Fishity. We all remember Fishity just last year. He was the Volk expertise, but now he has a couple new names surrounding him, some of which actually put on the Academy roster just last season.
All probably the series as well, potentially based off of what he might be able to do in Modern Warfare 2. But first look off the bat, I mean, pretty convincing already. Trying to force the spawns out in the back here. Wait patiently inside. We'll be able to collect at least a good portion of this time, and well over the top, almost snaps from 1 to 2 to 3. Will finally be taken down, and Arizona State will be able to find themselves in here for a quick moment.
Find themselves in for a quick moment, but I mean, this is a double-edged sword when you are spawning over on the jacuzzi side of the map, isn't it? Because you really want to try to get yourself in towards the back alley over past the lobby side so that you could try to get those ever so influential spawns for P2. Got to respect the call here for ASU as a whole, just to completely concede it, knowing that they're not winning all the upfront gunfights, so at least gets 23 seconds off of P1, excuse me, ahead of brute forcing your way for the rotation.
Well, we have Tony now, next one up, waiting for his teammates. Trying to chow over the top. Nice kill into ISO. One more here back right. Tony not going to be prepared for that one, but does at least allow them to inch up a little bit closer, get control over the desk. This is kind of step 1 when you're trying to break this setup. Fishity over the top. Shots aren't good enough. ISO will be able to find him up close, and it is still maintained control right now, in and around the point right now for Texas A&M International.
Fine 0-9 between Fishity and Lil Dumpling. Finally, Lil Dumpling getting themselves on the board, and I'll find as many different reasons to say that name all year long. You best believe that. But Buddha is able to work their way back in, finds 2. 16 seconds remaining, and remember that Texas A&M International actually started on this side of the map, so now they have to really get the Adidas on. They have to get across the entire map to try to break inside 3, where Dan's is already located at.
Yeah, they definitely do. You know how difficult it is to break this. Nice little chow out the side, though. Dan's going to eliminate quite a few members in the middle of the map. Try to get his teammates there a little bit easier. Not going to fully happen. Fishy now is going to back all the way up, and you can see it. A really tight setup, but not a full read on where this hit's going to be coming from. So a tight setup inside the point as everyone sets up in and around for the break.
Very tough. just to play this all inside the hard point. You are being swarmed by Dust Devils from all different corners of this kitchen area. Restaurant control is in there. It's just Fishity, the last survivor for the Sun Devils. He's actually only in over by the side door and gets some squad spawns to help out this break.
ASU still trying to see if they can get anything done in around this point with 20 seconds left, but it looks like it has mainly been shut down. So Dust Devils here will be able to come out with a pretty solid lead. Now moving back, of course, across the map. Gunfight's got to be won. Danzig was huge the last time around for winning a couple of those key gunfights. This time will not be the case, and it's Fishity that gets involved. A couple key kills here to start off the new hill.
And Fishity's actually in a prime position when it comes down to a bar hold. Now, I know what a lot of you were thinking. Well, the hardpoint's actually across this entire lobby area. I understand that, but top and bottom bedroom to overwatch the entire play could have been a nice spot to hold for yourself if you are the Sun Devils. Fishity gets dealt with. Now it's the Dust Devils that actually brute force their way from that bedroom side to try to contest this hardpoint early, but ASU's close spawns just too much to bear, and they'll hold on for now.
Clean wipe. Sun Devils are in. Just trying to bring this one back if they can get 30. It's just about a tie game. We'll see if Danzig can try to push all the way through here. The stuns and nades have really slowed him down. The smoke also trying to block off a little bit of this cross, but a couple key kills come in. Danzig over the top, able to rip the head off of Milo. Nice shots coming in. That's going to now allow them to get in for the scrap time. 15 seconds up for grabs. Now everyone again shifting over to new.
And that's what you get, especially with this very early leader's advantage that Texas A&M International built for themselves, is that you can absolutely toss up a coin and just ask yourself, do we try to contest for the scrap time? Well, if you do and you win the gunfights, your lead gets boosted to about this 50-point deficit of what you see right now. But in towards this restaurant hardpoint, you need to get some numbers in here if you're ASU. You cannot trail down this early.
No, you can definitely not. And while this hill really is about getting your ARs to the prime positions in and around the restaurant and just allow them to set up and hold the pre-aim, but Fishity tries to make something happen in the back. It's isolated, so it will be shut down, and now everyone can turn their attention to the front. Gunfight's got to be won head on right now, but it's going to be a double picked up. Tetra good for 2, ISO good for 3. Meanwhile, Buddha is just happily sitting inside of the hard point, and while ISO is also on a 5 spree, he can look to try to build this up for some streaks.
Yeah, ISO's been that roaming SMG player, gets a little bit too big for their britches past the jacuzzi, trying to influence a handful of more kills ahead of that top garage hardpoint that we're about to be taking a look at. But about a 100-point lead Texas A&M International do have over ASU's head. And, well, Dan's is that guy again. He's already in over here. We'll end up seeing a trophy. Knows that there's one player nearby. Wonderful kills to couple that along with Cetra on the opposite side.
Oh, I love that patient play. Finds one, and it opens up the play in the back here. So ISO and Cetra, both subs, are now able to get involved up close. This has been beautiful on the rotation. Now it should allow them to potentially set up. Trophy system, who put that there, so Cetra's not going to be able to have his down at the moment, but it's still time being accumulated right now for the Dust Devils up until the point where we get a break in the back, but are they going to be able to hold on? Yes, they will. What a 3K that comes through. Milo says thank you very much as he's now sitting nice and cozy in the hard point.
Yeah, required break at that here in P6 for the Sun Devils, so that way they can at least get themselves over 100 points. This will bring the deficit just below 100 points, just to about 90. That's, of course, unless Buddha has any other further arguments for this. It's contesting for the back 10 seconds here in the final hardpoint. It looks like Lil Dumpling has the idea, maybe try to contest for the scrap time, but doesn't hit the go, no. And Buddha takes the chow. Takes down Little Dumpling, so the back 10 seconds will actually be soaked up here for the Dust Devils. They're actually only 2 seconds away from being at 200 points. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, literally almost at 200 points already. I just really don't like that, chow from Dumpling, where it's like, okay, you got to just concede that time. The kill in the end doesn't really matter. He's going to come off spawn and probably meet you there the same time you get there. So, unfortunately, the lack of the early setup around P1 has now allowed a very easy rotation, and it feels like the Dust Devils might be able to just about build this lead up and maybe put it away on P2. We'll see. ISO inside the hard point, soaking up time. Dan's is doing Dan's things, just slaying around the hard point, and everything looks like it's great.
Yeah, everything is coming up. All aces for Texas A&M International. 224 to about 100 here at the Atrium Hardpoint is about to be coming to an abrupt close. But you also got to see what is actually being played off the back end of Fishity, only finding that one kill. Actually forces all of the Dust Devils to spawn effectively in for P3. They want nothing to do with the Atrium, Austin. They completely go through Souvenirs trying to get back into P2 spawns.
Certainly do. ISO in the back, going to try to get across. He does get the timing to actually move over to this kind of back left area. Now he's going to try to make a move to move into the point. Shots coming through, laying down, trying to wait for support. Won't be able to find anything, but it's still allowed at least to secondary sub to get in for a quick moment up until Fishity able to find the double. So we'll see the Sun Devils actually hold on just a little bit longer, seeing if they might be able to mount some kind of a crazy comeback here. And it all starts with at least a really solid hold on this point, and so far so good.
Yeah, but they're all looking at the front, Austin, and that allowed Texas A&M International to completely hit through the broken wall of Souvenirs, upset the spawns, and work their way into position to close the game here.
Yeah, if they want to, they could rotate just to be sure, but or ISO could just take out every single member everywhere. That could also get you the win, and it might just do that. You have to contest, you have to rotate. Too many things to deal with. Dolphin dive just to try to contest a second longer, but it will not matter. Everything will end on P2, and how about it? Dust Devils looking great as they take map 1.
Yeah, I mean, when they were about at 200 points walking away from P6 off of Buddha's last-second contests on the parking garage, I felt like it was all over from there on out. I mean, this is a well-oiled machine that Texas A&M International have put together for themselves. You know, Danza is always putting themselves in a position to try to influence spawns ahead of the rotation when there's about 15 seconds left at ult. We saw ISO just lurking and being an absolute nuisance into whatever line they felt like. Front line, back line, mid line, I don't care. ISO was there the entire time getting multi-kill after multi-kill. The 2-2 setup, albeit unorthodox for the current meta of Greenberg Hotel. I mean, Texas A&M International play that to such a high degree. You always have a submachine gun inside the hard point, one roaming around, an AR in the hard point, setting up a cross with another teammate as well, and another one roaming. It's just absolutely sublime. Chef's kiss. Wow.
Yeah. Very, very well coordinated. Everybody on the same page. Exactly what you need in order to find success in Respawn. And yeah, they just absolutely stepped up to the table and delivered right there on Hotel. So the very first map will be theirs. But of course, we'll take a look back at the scoreboard here and see exactly how everything came together from a stats point of view. And I mean, didn't really feel like this one went too long. Not a lot of neutral time really playing out here for us, as this one kind of barely gets over 20 kills. But ISO certainly will deliver with 23. He was another one of those sub players that was just everywhere that he needed to be, with 19 of those being untraded. But you can definitely see at least a little bit of a differential, of course, between the slaying power between both teams, but as well as just everybody here on the side of the Dust Devils here, and he's just getting involved in the hill, except for ISO, because he's just making a lot of map movements.
Yeah, because you just never know where ISO is located at. 23 and 18, the biggest KD ratio that we had in this one. 19 non-traded kills for ISO with about 2,500 damage, also leading in that department. But you take a look at about like the 3 minutes of hardpoint time for Buddha and Cetra. You know, Buddha was more often than not that guy that was trying to contest the scrap time. Cetra was that secondary SMG to ISO's roaming SMG that was always set up inside the hardpoint for these very close gunfights. It just felt like that at the beginning of a lot of these hard points, just nobody from ASU was able to deal with it, just the front line for Texas A&M International, which is kind of scary, especially when you're thinking about the search and destroy map that comes our way.
Yes, we are moving into Fortress here. I think it will be our very first time seeing the Fortress S&D on the day, I want to say. And,
yeah.
Well, this one's intriguing, because I feel like in a lot of different situations, I mean, you can only really ever attack one bomb site unless you have just like a really good smoke play to try to cross to B or kind of get control of that building to have easy access to it from either up top or down low. But I just feel like everything is all about brute forcing kind of into A, throwing the nades and stuns over, and having a trophy player in S&D for this map is just critical. You need it if you're going to stay inside of that A site.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, offensively, just speaking about the A push as a whole, I mean, obviously you spawn right in front of Art, so that's going to be the main point of ingress, I will say that much, for SMGs to try to brute force their way towards that double door archway, if you will, over by the A bomb, while you're coupling that with an AR, potentially to go over towards the back forklift area and maybe get a nice little position on the staircase for that first blood. But I mean, you're right to talk about the, I guess, the overall silliness that is trying to push over towards that BS&D side. You really do have to brute force your way across that mid lane of the map, yeah. Whether it's with a no attachment sniper rifle here in North America, or just smoking the cross and then praying to RNGesus that you do make it across from the M4 spray that I'm sure is going to be coming across only from that stable side, but also top maps.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so difficult. I just don't think there's a lot of creativity on this map to kind of make plays. You're forced to take gunfights in a lot of situations. situation. So the team that is more confident, or the team that's just kind of winning more of those one-on-one battles, is usually going to naturally just have more control in this map. It's just kind of how it feels like it's laid out when it comes to S&D. But hey, this will be an interesting look to see what the Sun Devils, can do. We had that, same question in our last series. Could VCU kind of, do something in the S&Ds? And the answer was yes. They did actually look like they were a little bit more comfortable, in some of those rounds, in some of those situations that they were playing in. They could slow things down a little bit. They could say, all right, just forget about the last map. Let's focus on this one. Let's see if we can at least tie this series up and maybe, dream of getting our very first Game 5 to kind of close out the day. That'd certainly be a special way to do it. But we'll see if they can, because at the moment you could see a lot of confidence just coming through from every single individual, and the coordination was obviously just a little bit of a step further, I would say, here for the Dust Devils, at least looking at the respawn in map 1 with how they were playing it together.
Yeah, I would say uncharacteristically as well. I mean, ASU, I wouldn't say looked lost, but they looked like they were lost as far as where everybody else was on the map. And I don't mean the enemy team, I just mean their own teammates as well. Just a lot of isolated 1v odd situations coming through from ASU on Greenberg Hotel Hardpoint map 1. But I think even more so than that, you're going to be looking at ASU slowly heat things up. I mean, Fishity very uncharacteristically started that map like 0-5, 0-6 before he finally found his first kill. And then from there on out, progressively got better and better. This is actually the first best of 5 that ASU, as a 4-player team, has actually played on the day, because they had to forfeit that match versus Northwood earlier on, which gave Northwood the winners finals match that we casted versus them in St. Clair. So ASU, I mean, might just be reeling a little bit, might just be kind of iced up. Maybe you need to take that to a certain level, because you need everything this side of the Mississippi if you're going to take down Texas A&M International, because their teamwork looks to be at an all-time high.
Yeah, I mean, it always impresses me, I think, how early these teams kind of are able to get that underneath their belts and look like this coordinated in some situations. And a lot of that does come down to, hey, maybe this is just one of their maps, right? They're really good on Hotel. That's obviously something that we've seen a lot of, throughout Call of Duty. Sometimes you're great on Hotel, and then you go to a next hard point, and maybe you're not as polished on it per se. So still a long series ahead of us here, and a chance to be able to redeem themselves when it comes to the respawns. And the good news is that we do have, more hard points up for grabs. We have no control here for the map number 3, so they do have that opportunity to do exactly that, but you'd love to be able to do it with a 1-1 tie record before you see that next hard point, just to give yourself that little bit of a cushion, and just the confidence of saying, all right, they've smacked us down a little bit, but we responded back, and just kind of slowly rallying together. That's what they're going to need here in order to really maybe take down the squad like you just gassed up. They're looking really solid, at least with the teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly one-for-one of what we talked about with Virginia Commonwealth. You need that bounce back. Obviously, Virginia Commonwealth was a whole lot closer. That was a Hotel Hardpoint that they only won by 12 points, but the Search and Destroy very much so could be it for ASU on offense first.
Well, here we go into Fortress, in between Arizona State and, of course, Texas A&M International. But already, first blood will come through. Milo able to find one, and now we'll see Fishity with that sniper rifle. We talked about the potential of it coming out, and it certainly will. Just trying to work a snipe through mid, and ISO is not going to really have an idea, but he might be waiting for Denny to kind of do that hop up here to the top.
ISO is kind of isolated over here. I mean, Buddha is top maps. Could be some help. Fishity just waiting for it, and we'll end up seeing Buddha cross. Big 2 kills to come through. Arizona have the opportunity now to take the stage by storm and get that bomb planted. I
like this. ISO going to fake a little bit of the kill cam here, but breaking into this A site, man, where there's only 3 entryways, well, I guess 4, going to be a little bit difficult here. You're going to have to pre-fire right after finding a kill, I feel like. Oh, he's going to spot 1, and he's going to get information on the second, and he should know that the last one might be in the back, and he has dead silence to work with.
The biggest issue is that you don't have all the time in the world. Oh, and that stun comes at the worst possible time for ISO as he tries to peek towards one bush. It's the back stairs where they're located at. ASU systematically play through that first round with relative ease. Again, just slow rolling, getting our control in their favor, making sure that Fishity was watching that mid lane cross. And then Tony, getting over towards his back staircase, just waiting for the challenge to come through closed doors. And by way of patience, it finally comes their way, and they walk away with 2 in the round.
Certainly do. So, good bounce back here, at least off the rip. Already seeing a little bit of sniper play from Fishity. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit more of that as well. But now we'll see exactly what's on the chopping block for the very first round. Dead Silence going to be available for some of these members here, potentially. ISO takes the first gunfight head-on, says, you want to come into my house? Have to get through me. And that will be the first kill. And now you even have Cedric kind of watching over Hay. But Tony wants to make a play. See if he can get one. A little bit aggressive, and he's punished for it.
A little bit aggressive. That is overextension personification. Fishity on the flank, though, with the sniper does find one. The bomb being planted over at A, but I mean, Fishity might have an opportunity to maybe find one or two more, but I like this call from the Dust Devils. Just try to get in a close proximity so that way you don't allow Fishity to get the clutch.
That might have been hurt. Hello. How you doing there, bud? Says thank you very much. Easy pick up there for him. And now we'll go back and forth here, right off the rip here, tied up at 1.
Actually, I don't know. Fish was... Oh, he did hear it. Wow. Or maybe that is just final kill from Spectator Client. I'm not sure, because I know that having the... having your daddy popped and busting through doors or breaking windows, that completely muffles the sound like how it was in Vanguard, but I'm actually surprised that picking up a weapon is not muffled as far as the sound is concerned. But everybody's got their headsets cranked at this point in time, making sure that you can get as many sound cues as possible. A big bounce back round there for the Dust Devils. Fishity actually taking this as an opportunity to play
I love that.
Map, stuns the door, gets first blood.
Oh my goodness. I know everything else is going wrong right now, but I love that play right there. Fishity, nice little stun, open the door, finds the first snipe shot. We'll have to try to find another, though. Last time he worked around that kind of B angle, but okay. Just running through the spawn right now. We'll see exactly if another one will come through for Santra. Just feels like he's now in a prime position, and, well, Elo gonna have to try to get the bomb and get through a 1v3, and I think he might have got bad timing on this cross of the truck. He certainly did.
Stun, scouted out, naded, 47 HP. Dead. All right. No, but you know, it's really cool because I think that it's not talked about as much. Well, now, I mean, specifically between you and me, it's the first time you and I have cast Modern Warfare 2 together. But regardless of the matter, I think it's really cool how expensive a lot of these peaks can actually be here in Modern Warfare 2 when you do stun a door open like that. Because, I mean, you know, especially where the spawn is located at, that the defensive team is going to be playing on the horse statue or over inside of Forge. So if you get that stun to open up the door the way that Fish did, you get that first blood, it's really hindering off the rest of your team to an AR and an SMG struggling to hit that P1 and then maybe try to come away with the kills as it gets collapsed on, but it does not work out in ASU's favor. Texas A&M International with first blood have a 1-round lead.
Certainly do. Up top, information going to be gifted over to both squads. It's just one player in the site here for Tony. Just going to be kind of watching back and forth here. He's going to be waiting for the sound cue in behind him, hopefully, and then maybe find one on the cross. But he's basically just playing island inside. Meanwhile, kill does end up coming through. First blood, or rather second blood, will tie us up. Now Tony, who's just been watching this angle, is just hoping to try to connect with shots.
Oh, ISO doesn't check both the sides. It was a little bit of a missed time. Danza was supposed to clear that cross. Danza's actually on 4 in a row, so you really have to be careful with how you play this life.
Streaks could be huge on a map like Fortress, especially with both sides kind of being open, but how about it? Nice little drop shot, breaking open the doors, and that will be a nice round coming on in. Very aggressive stuff, and now a 3-1 lead for Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's, again, just methodical, the way that we're seeing the Dust Devils maneuver through Fortress, at least the 4 rounds of play so far, isn't it, Austin? Because they are making sure that they're always putting players in certain areas of the map to watch these very contested points of interest when you are crossing the map, when you're trying to rotate to get one more bomb site in your favor. And they're also just being, I would say, very productive with their positions on the map in the early stages as well. Just look how aggressive they are, making sure they're inside of arches, not allowing Fishity to get that cheeky pick out of bottom art again.
Yeah, Fishity still keeping the sniper out, I think, is a little bit interesting. He has worked for, you know, a couple of picks here and there, but maybe just switching it up was what I was expecting. But Fishity says no. He's got one player, Buddha, who's going to have his cross, I think, back, and he's going to use the dead silence now to try to slow peek this and work an angle.
Jump peek around the side, making sure that it's all crossed. Thinks that there's a player at bench, but that's actually going to give away his position more than anything. ISO is locked on this position.
Fishity gets shrugged off. Buddha has that cross I talked about, but he doesn't end up finding any kind of a line of sight to take him out. So everybody's still very much alive, but we're now down to about 40 seconds, and the way this bomb is positioned, it's like they want to try to move to B.
Just need to pick through the middle of the map. I mean, ISO has not climbed all the way up, but Cetra's holding the cross as well on the bottom side of Art. So you really have to be careful. And yeah, they're going to make this as a chance. Didn't find that pick in the middle of the map. They need to brute force their way through A.
Fishity's still very isolated. But, oh, Danza, he's just been waiting inside the site saying, come into the web! And he'll be able to find 2. Does Ego Chow for the clip. And, well, there's still not a whole lot of time left. I think you're probably good as long as you just don't end up dropping here on the defensive side. Bomb's going to have to be grabbed, and, well, yeah, there's no time to drop it, so just got to stay up. Tony will try to play the gunfight, won't matter. Beautiful stuff here. Another round on the board, and, I mean, it just feels like the Dust Devils are willing to play this patient game that the Sun Devils want to play. Yeah,
I mean, barring that one round that Fish stuns the door open, finds that pick under the horse statue, everybody from Texas A&M International has continuously on defense given no information, little to none information to the Sun Devils. Arizona State are really starting to reel when it comes down to understand where a lot of these successful members are located at. Need something here. Do not want to be down 5-1. You don't even really want to be down 1-4, but this is just life right now. You just got to win this round.
Yeah, you just win, Forehead. Come on. Well, we'll see if Fishity decides to switch it up or if he wants to keep the sniper out. I'm interested about that. And, well, he just answered my question. Sniper is still very much alive, and it will find another blood, but can they actually work off of it? That's a stun check. That's going to be great. Over the top here. We'll be able to tag him up as well. So they know one's in the site, very weak. Just a matter of trying to bully him out, and there it is. Nice little hop up here from Danza. He'll work it, and now we'll drop it to a 3v2.
Danza also has that cruise missile in their favor. Fishy dead silence play with the sniper rifle again. I mean, this is just going to be conveying information for one of their teammates. Little Dumpling finally gets on the board now. 1v2 bomb being patty caked here behind stage.
Fishity need this round, and he's got a gun to work with. Both players, though, about to kind of retake the site, and, well, this timing could just work out for Fishity. He's taking control of their side of the spawn. Danza does one last little check to see if maybe someone's hitting flank, but it's not the case, and now Fishity just needs to wait patiently. He should be hearing a lot of footsteps right now. Just 20 seconds left. Should be able to find a freebie. Oh, that's come through. He gives away his position, but Denza's going to have to try to stick it. He's alone. He's isolated. Fishity, he can pull this off. It's a 1v2. He's pulled on the sniper. Fishity, run for your life. Get out of there. Get out of there.
He's running.
Get out of there, Fishity.
He's out of here. He's out of here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy, actually a fish out of water right there. What the heck was that? That boy is schmoving through art. I thought he was going to get caught up on the fixture. What is that, like a little light post over by the stage that leads into art? I saw him getting caught up on that, and he quick swaps to the sniper. He's like, oh, wait, that's right. I've been sniping this entire Fortress S&D. But just completely breaks the ankles of Buddha. Could not chase down that last kill. And Arizona, a must-needed round, put themselves up on 2 rounds.
Oh, I've never felt so stressed for someone before casting, but oh man, Vishny got the heart racing there, let me tell you. Let's see if they can try to make something happen. They have lost Tony, which is not ideal here. But Fishity is still persistent on keeping the scope out. And, well, he's going to find a shoulder.
No.
That shoulder is completely blown off. And, oh, he'll find a head. All right, Fishity's on. What? Oh, I thought for a second.
So ISO just bust the Superman one time and went flying down that ramp. Little Dumpling will scoop up the bomb. Gonna go ahead and plant this at a 2v3 for a post plant.
ISO thinks one's pushing. Nade's close, but trades kind of go back and forth here. And once again, it's Fishity in a 1v situation, but this time he will not be allowed to do Fishity things, and that will be, I think, a little bit of a weight coming in here. Want to make sure they charge up some of that dead silence, give it over to whoever needs it, and that'll exactly be the case. But 5-2 up right now, it just feels like the Dust Devils, as much as they maybe lost a round here or there, Andy, they're still very much in control.
It's just such a tough call, isn't it, when Little Dumpling picks up the bomb, goes for the plant, and then Fishity wants to go pick up the flank. It was the right call. If you can get inside of Art, that's great. You're going to get top rails in your favor, and you're going to watch a lot of these Dust Devil players move their way through the archways, but it's just simply not meant to be. I mean, not when you only have a sniper and a pistol in hand. This is, again, where we are really starting to keep a close eye on Fishity. Look, the dude is snapping. He's finding a lot of good shots, hit markers as well. He's 8 and 6 with a sniper rifle, for crying out loud, with a handful of those eliminations coming through from an M4 that he picked up off the ground. But you really do feel like the upfront pressure is just not there for ASU.
Yeah, it most certainly doesn't seem like it at the moment. But Fishity is just not going to put it away. He says, listen, it's working. I'm not going to drop it. His teammates just need to try to play their lives here, but that's going to be a nice pickup. Nice little aggressive play. No fear despite being down 5-2. Milo does have to be a little bit careful going too far now that he's deep into enemy's territory, but he's got himself posted up and he's in a great position.
That silence is going to run out here, so now Milo just has to play this top rails position. And ISO is down on the staircase. Milo, just keep your head down, brother, until you see a nade. And the regen will be coming through. Stalemate as it may be. 3v4, ASU with the numbers advantage.
Oh, what a shell! Oh my goodness! With the pistol, no fear of fishing, he takes it head on. And while everything else just comes crumbling down there for the Dust Devils, the Sun Devils are able to get themselves on the board, and it comes with a little bit of aggression there and some very, very nice chows.
I mean, it's just a fish difference, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, the dude hits a heat check with an X12 pistol, and he's just like, yeah, I got it, no problem. I mean, the pistol's good, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, you know damn well you're going up against an M4 in that corner. Luckily enough, the reaction time and the pre-aim was that much better for Fish. Who, again, is 10-6. He's hand-in-hand with Danza, who still has a cruise missile in their back pocket, keep in mind.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. You could very much just use it right here if you want to put it away, or when they move into the site, either or. A lot of options available. They know one is certainly in, and that's some great nade usage. He's using a tree to keep himself alive right now. Unbelievable stuff. He'll get the regen. He won't drop. Numbers will stay in favor of Arizona State.
They're going to get this plant down. Does Little Dumpling actually get out? Well, it seems like that they will. Cetra's not actually going to push up through the open door. Now the post plane is on.
Here we go. Much better this time around. And now Buddha, Cetra got to do something really special here, especially with the sub in hand. It's going to be difficult to work from this position. Fishity knows he's now with the barn doors. And, well, his teammate loses his gunfight off screen. And hold on a second. 5-2 now reads 5-4. Sun Devils are not done with this map just yet, Andy.
3 rounds on the bounce. They are really starting to piece things together. We're seeing a whole lot more discipline being exemplified here from the Sun Devils in the latter half of this Fortress map 2, comparatively to what they were showcasing in the first half of this search and destroy. I mean, yeah, Little Dumpling's 1-6. I don't care. Little Dumpling's also the OBJ player and is scooping the bomb and getting that plant down after that first ball does come through. Fishity is earned so much respect with the boomstick that Texas A&M International can only peek so many lanes.
All right. Aggression looks like it's going to come out at least initially to keep everyone out of the site, and no defenders are in the site. You got a player that's kind of going to be shrugged back from the tunnel. Meanwhile, Buddha is just making sure no one's going to make any kind of an aggressive play down low, but very patient up until this point where the bomb will get planted. Now it's a matter of exiting, and it looks like they just found the first blood.
First blood will be there. Milo just going to play up in this area, maybe try to fish out a timing, but ISO seems to at least acknowledge that this certainly could be a point of interest. Time is not on your side, Arizona State. You need to find these picks fast.
Yeah, you really got to go. This gunfight needs to come through for Dumpling. He struggled all game, and oh, that one does not come in. Now it's into a 2v2, but like you said, it's the clock playing against them. You have to stick to the fuse, and look at the play in the back. Oh my goodness, almost a double, but you just got to play your life, and there it is. Danza finds the remaining players. Big kills in the end. And the Dust Devils will make sure there's no kind of a crazy comeback here in map 2 as they close it out 6-4.
Yeah, like, all right, well, we lost 3 in a row, so let's just be certain that we don't lose 5 in a row and lose the map and even things up going into a map number 3. But, yeah, I mean, like, this is a multitude of tales that you could really talk about. I mean, the statistics are really going to spell an entire story when it comes down to how that map number 2 did play out. But, I mean, I really do appreciate that's what's coming out from the Dust Devils so far in this weather phenomenon bowl that we currently have with the Sun Devils versus the Dust Devils. But it's one of those things, again, that on defense for Fortress specifically, you spawn in an area over by Forge that you can immediately look at art. You don't have to be the immediate aggressor. You could play the retake over by the A-bomb. More often than not, that's exactly what the Dust Devils did to a really high value.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. For the first half of that game, full control, making sure they're always playing with their numbers, very disciplined at times, saying, listen, if Ishii can't work a snipe, then he's not really going to find a lot of value to open up with a pick to kind of create that numbers advantage. And they really just kind of played that patient game with them in a lot of those initial rounds, but also ISO spiced it up, and you can see some of that spice coming through there. 12 kills there for Danza. He was huge in a lot of these moments, especially when defending with that AR. We saw it there in that final round, and everyone else on his squad just about even, pulling their weight, doing what they have to do. On the other end, I mean, we mentioned Fishity here. Andy, you talked about how important and influential he was throughout last year's season, and he comes alive with the sniper rifle and puts on a couple of nice highlight reels there for us throughout the map.
But it's just not enough, right? Because, I mean, although Fish he found 2 first bloods, Milo found 3. We went even for first bloods, but it doesn't matter. When Fish is left alive in the clutch, has to try to find himself an automatic weapon just to play with. And again, don't get me twisted. Look, Fish has been playing Call of Duty for a long time. He's been competing in the CCL for a long time. This dude he's got the moxie, I'll say that much. And he'll take those challenges with the pistol, but more often than not, you really do wish that Fishity probably put away that boomstick and tried to up the ante up in the front line along with Milo to really try to get an advantage in the early stages of those rounds.
Well, we'll take a look back at the map set. Of course, the first 2 have now gone the way of the Dust Devils, and now the Sun Devils, well, they're going to have to respond on a Mercado Ambassador as well as a second Mercado Search and Destroy if they're going to see a championship Sunday. That is certainly a lot to ask for, but at the very least, I mean, we can at least hope that they are going to have a better start, better time going into the Mercado hardpoint to maybe make this some kind of a possibility here, Andy, because I think that's where we praised at least this Dust Devils team the most. When we were watching over their respawn, it really did feel like everybody just knew what to do at the right time, and they were on the same page, and the way that the ARs and subs were kind of playing off of each other really was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record in between 2 different series, you know, but it's the same thing that I talked about with VCU versus Full Sail Armada that I'm going to talk about the Sun Devils versus Texas A&M International. It's just one of those things that we're seeing a lot more productivity out of one SMG named ISO. And I think ISO is doing a fantastic job of just roaming through the entirety of the map. Look, what we saw at the Greenberg Hotel map number 1, if ISO needs to hop on the hill, they'll do it, but they're obviously a whole lot more comfortable being that second prong to the upfront pressure that is being put together from the M4s of this Dust Devils roster. And I think on a map like Mercado Los Alamos, that's where you're going to be keeping your eyes in the back of your head if you're the Sun Devils, because you never really know, even regardless of what hardpoint is currently being active, is your flank honestly secure if ISO's alive?
That's the big question here for us. So everything could be all done and dusted going in towards this map number 3. Or we'll maybe see, you know, some kind of a talk of a reverse sweep. We've seen teams kind of take that 3rd map throughout the day, but they've lost in the 4th. So still looking for that map number 5. We'll see if this series is going to be able to deliver exactly that. For now, we'll step away, get ready for map 3, get that lobby set up. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gents. CCL MW2 launch tournament continues here with Arizona State and Texas A&M International. And right now, 2-0 up for the Dust Devils on the right. We'll see if there'll be any kind of a response from Arizona as they're going to lose the initial battles here on P1, Andy.
You gotta have it here. If you are the Sun Devils, you're already down horrendously from the Greenberg Hotel map. You lost 250 to 133, and you're down in the series 0-2. So now you need to start putting something together here on Mercado Los Alamos, and well, this P1 hardpoint is anything but that. Every single kill, more or less, besides the one that Lil Dumpling found, all in favor of the Dust Devils.
And, I mean, just looking back left and right, like, am I good? No, you guys got me up until the point where the flank finally gets in, but he was good for about 37 seconds. And that is a great way to kick this one off, and his teammate hops right back in the hill to collect the remaining scrap time. So we take a look at P2. Already a lot of numbers are at least set up inside right now for the side of Arizona. Just a matter of can they lock this in. And well, so far so good. A couple key kills come in the back. Long range shots are good for Dumpling as he's locking things down low.
Going to be able to keep those close spawns fully in effect with Fishity spawning in on the backside of the alleyway. Is actually going to pick up in the middle of the map. Won't see too much, so you know this hit's actually coming from the front. Nades did be on point. Trophy systems are not really in effect here for ASU inside the hardpoint itself. And well, Tony up top was the last warrior there for the Sun Devils. Will be cut down to size as Texas A&M International are fully in control for the last 27 seconds.
What a snap there from Buddha. Just completely locks onto one. And now he's got himself a great position, kind of watching over a tunnel. Also gives him a nice little fast track to new if he so wishes to go early. But for now, he's going to get a read onto the second. Milo will be able to take him out. But while this happens, I mean, already it feels like the Dust Devils have built themselves up a massive lead, and they're rotating a little bit early.
Rotating a little bit early, but I mean, that's the same thing that we just saw had happen for the P2 hardpoint. Now inside of 10, This is, again, where your nades and trophies all need to be there and on point. Trophy system looked like it finally went kablooey just below Dank Tony's LOS, but this hit is slowly starting to piece itself together through the courtyard as Cetra's making sure that nobody's putting a flank together.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my,
wow.
What a snap and what a break. Not an easy hill to break whatsoever, especially when trophy systems are set up inside, but just absolute ease coming in and right back in the time. It just feels like the Dust Devils never leave it.
Cetra on 4. 2 more kills. Gotta get yourself a glide bomb. But it seems that Arizona State might just try to contest this from the front one more time. It's gonna be Fishity. Actually decide to push all the way through. Knows that there's still one more player at this hard point, but it's Danza that picks it up on the side. Cetra really wanted the streak. Won't be able to find it quite yet, but this has been a considerable amount of time the Dust Devils have pieced together for themselves in the first 3 hills.
I know it's really small moments, but it's just like Cetra not challenging there and just putting his trust into his teammates. It just really shows a lot of signals of a great team right now that we're witnessing. But let's see if Arizona State can also live up to that, put something together. They're going to need a very, very fast break, you feel like, at the moment right now, because they're already 100 points down, and we still have more hills left in this first set of rotations. So things starting to look dire early. Hate to sound like it's not looking great, but the truth is it's just not. And now with 30 seconds left, I mean, this very well might be all of their time.
I mean, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Let's look at the positives here, all right? Like, you could be at 0 points if you're the Sun Devils.
You're not wrong, Andy.
No, I am a positive butterfly, let me tell you. But I mean, Arizona State really need to start piecing something together soon. I mean, 5 and 10 for Lil Dumpling, 1 and 8 for Milo was also a overall breadwinner when it came down to the kills and pressure that was at least mounting there on the Fortress Search and Destroy just behind Fishity, who's only at 7 and 9. Not enough productivity as Buddha's starting to put together a little bit of a spree themselves. Just moments away from getting themselves yet another glide bomb here in this best of 5 series. Cetra piecing it up from behind as well. This is just a pick and choose battle. If you're the Dust Devils, you have 150 points as the lead. Let them get in the hill first. Let them have that false sense of security and then just collapse on them.
Yeah, I mean, like, these are just, like, first break setups that are just successful over and over and over again. They're not even worried about rotating early to the new hill, like you said. Like, we're just going to break. That's just what we're going to rely on, and obviously it's been working out great. 190 to 45 here, as this has just been a complete display of dominance for the Dust Devils. And Arizona State just fumbling, struggling to really find any kills at this point in time. And it looks like they're going to have to concede just about all of that time as well. So this is one of the better money hills, I would say. A little bit easier to kind of lock down at times, but we'll see if they're going to be able to kind of stay up top and stop their, the teams getting in. But it feels like right now, Dumpling just kind of raining on them, and this is what we needed. We needed this a little bit earlier here, Andy.
Yeah, hello, Dumpling on a 4 spree, potentially looking for more. Needs to be careful, though. I don't know where you were going. You didn't have any coverage over by A-Dom, and well, now you know exactly where the Dust Devils are spawning in, over by that back alleyway. But I mean, Milo is just here. And I say that adamantly. No help whatsoever. It's going to be a one-dimensional affair to try to give Milo some backup, but it's just way too late.
From the side, Buddha able to find one more. Stun check goes out. Little 360, because why not? Buddha looking for a nice little clip. Okay, Buddha, he's just running through them one by one. Says, where's the next one at? And it is all white in that kill feed. Things will not end here just by a couple of seconds, but it is just about over as we got one last rotation into the back.
That's just the damnest thing. We're going into P7, and yeah, it's very much so looking like it's going to end here. I mean, close spawns are actually fully in effect for the Sun Devils at this current moment of time, but you already have players trying to threaten it over by the palm tree. ISO 12 and 9 knows that there might be a player over by the gate, wants nothing to do with it, trying to brute force away from the front.
ISO gonna wait patiently. He's got to read on the spawn as well, but with the sub, I mean, this is just never a situation you ever want to be in without a smoke to help you cross. But he's gonna try to hop over the wall and says, all right, you want to watch the right? That's fine. I'm coming over the top. Oh, I got an AR now as well. Not gonna be in an easy position to work out of, but his teammates will make it easy and they will stay on the time. And my goodness, we see you, Texas A&M International, another 100-point club comes on in on the day, and that is going to close out the series in 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, it was one rotation. Thank you very much, producer. It's, well, I mean, that's just the thing. We got 7 hard points on a single map. And they just completely just snowballed. Every single time, it felt like that Arizona State had themselves an inkling of a setup. You go back towards P2, broken up immediately. Disjointed all over the place, just struggling to find kills, struggling to find rotational gunfights to be more favorable for them. And the same thing spelled disaster when we went in towards P3. It's like you were talking about, Austin. That hardpoint in 10 should not be as easily broken up as what we just saw the Dust Devils put together for themselves. Just completely collapsing on everything. Didn't even need to call in a shriek as well. Keep in mind, they had 2 glide bombs there at the end. Glide bomb. I really need to move away from Vanguard. They had 2 cruise missiles ready to completely blow up any setup that was there for the Sun Devils on P7. And they didn't even need it, because you just had ISO. It was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to hop over the wall, and I'm just going to find myself a handful of kills. And yeah, how about 13-9 for the young man as well? 2 minutes of hardpoint time for ISO. The SMGs just existing in the hill, while the ARs were running amok through Mercado Los Alamos.
Yeah, that is basically it summed up, right? Just running amok, just really taking full advantage of just every situation, and then realizing, like, we don't need to start to rotate early. We can play for scrap and make sure we lock down the remaining 30 seconds of a hill at all times and just, break on the first attempt. It felt like that happened a little bit too often, and overall led to the scoreline of 250 to 86. But yeah, I mean, everybody getting involved. I mean, that was through the first set of hills. I think it's still just, I'm still processing that, if I'm being honest with you.
Got 7 hard points, Austin. You got to get used to it.
I know. 7 hard points. I got to get used to it. But man, oh man, that is just still absolutely incredible. As we'll take one last look at how this 3-0 came to be. And well, the first one maybe not as dominating, but still at least in that kind of category, 250 to 133. Right after, it was much closer. That's when we got the Fishity sniper coming out and making some plays here and there. Milo also getting kind of involved in a lot of those rush plays, but they still end up falling 6-4. And then, of course, we just see that crazy map number 3 on Mercado, 250 to 86.
Yeah, absolute crazy scenes. But, I mean, hey, the weather phenomenon mascot bowl here of CCL, lower quarterfinals will go the way of the Dust Devils. They are clearly the much more polished team. I won't say just mechanically skilled, not to throw Milo under the bus, but I mean, like, he just really was not having a fun time in these respawns specifically, in the overall teamwork and cohesion of which was exemplified by the Dust Devils on Greenberg Hotel and Mercado Las Almas. For Hardpoint specifically, it's probably going to make some individuals a little nervous when it comes down to facing them on Hardpoint specifically.
Now, listen, man, tomorrow is going to be it's going to be a hell of a day. Championship Sunday, seeing who's going to be kind of our opening launch tournament champion, because there's still a lot of great teams left in this tournament. So it's going to be an absolute banger. We'll take a look at the bracket here one more time for you guys to see how everything has kind of come together. Of course, sitting nice and pretty up there is Northwood University. They won against St. Clair College in 3-0 fashion. A lot of those maps were actually decently close for the most part, so it wasn't a convincing 3-0 by any means, but certainly looked like one of the better teams without a doubt on the day, as they'll be waiting very patiently in that grand final, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, look, Northwood essentially just put St. Clair in the absolute blender there for their map number 3, 250 to 133. They won on the Greenberg Hotel, winning it overall in a 3-0 series. I honestly thought St. Clair was going to at least be able to take a map off of Northwood, but hey, that's your Vanguard defending champions for a reason. Definitely the number 1 seed and the number 1 team here this weekend.
Without a doubt, and I think we'll take a look at the lower bracket here as well. You can see it, loser semis. Currently already got our Texas A&M international team that we were just on board with, and well, Full Sail University. We were watching over them, as well as the other squad here as well, UTC. And that one, of course, 2-0 up there for Full Sail, and that might be our matchup for tomorrow to kind of kick things off, as St. Clair College waits patiently in their losers final for top 3 guaranteed. So we have a lot of great teams kind of left here at the end of it for tomorrow here, Andy, and it's really difficult to say who's going to be able to kind of make this run through the lower bracket and meet Northwood up top in the grand final.
It's also kind of crazy, too. I don't know if you saw, but Full Sail are actually 2-0 up versus the Mox out of UTC. Look, they just 3-0'd apparently. I mean, dude,
there's the update.
This Full Sail Armada team, I'm telling you,
deal.
off of the one series that we saw, I know that it was versus a very put-together 4v4 squad of VCU, sure, whatever. They look hella polished. I'm actually more excited now than I was earlier to watch the entirety of this weekend to see how far some of these colleges can go, what they truly do look like when the pressure is truly on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always fun, man. New year, new COD. You don't know who's going to step up. You don't know who's going to go big, and you get all these kind of crazy moments. and it was absolutely beautiful. But of course, we do have to give one more big shout out, of course, to the America's Navy for being one of our proud sponsors throughout this CCL stream. It would not be possible without them. And if you're looking for some opportunities within the Navy offers more than 60 career fields in leading edge areas such as nuclear, engineering, special warfare, pathology, intelligence, and information systems management. There are also enlisted career paths in fields that are not widely associated with the Navy, including music, journalism, culinary arts, marketing, and law enforcement, and of course, what we all love, esports. So if you'd like to know more, make sure you guys head over there and check out the Navy, again, one of our proud sponsors here for the CCL. But to close this one out here, Andy, it's been a hell of a day, number one, man. It's been a lot of fun casting COD. What are your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts is that this season for collegiate Call of Duty is going to be wild. I know I say that every single season since I've joined at the end of the Black Ops 4 year, but we're getting more and more schools. We're getting a lot more eyes on the scene as well, and a lot more participants. These competitors are just constantly getting so much better as the years go on that I think that Modern Warfare 2, especially what this launch open is actually showcasing, that we're in store for a hell of a collegiate year.
You heard it here first, folks. We're in store for a hell of a collegiate year. We can't wait to continue the action, but unfortunately today it's going to have to stop. Make sure you guys come back tomorrow. We'll be live at the exact same time, kicking things off at 1 p.m. Eastern to see who we're going to crown as our first champion here in the CCL launch tournament. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.